If you want to become fluent in German but don't know how or where to start, then you have come to the right place. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my fluency method that I use for my own language learning and that I also teach my students. I'm a German native speaker, so my mother tongue isn't English, but I do consider myself quite fluent in English. I also applied these steps to become fluent in Mandarin and Cantonese, and I reached a conversational level in French. I'm not telling you this to brag or anything, but rather to show you that these steps are a proven system that I've repeatedly applied and that you can apply for your German learning as well. So if you're ready to level up your German language skills this year, then stick around to the end of this video because all of these steps are crucial and have to be applied together. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Also, I've created a free ebook that you can download. The link is in the description box. It's a 5-step guide on how to become fluent in German, and I go more in depth on everything that we're going to cover today. So if you want a detailed step-by-step guide on how to become fluent in German, then I highly recommend downloading my free ebook as well. It simply allows me to dive deeper into each step with you. And if you're new to this channel, herzlich willkommen bei Speak Fluent German. My name is Salome and this channel is all about helping you build your confidence and conversation skills in German. Before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow so that more German learners find these educational videos. Also, follow me on Instagram at SpeakFluentGerman, where I post daily quizzes, useful phrases in German, and more to help you master the German language. And now, without further ado, let's dive into the video. Los geht's! Step number 1, know your why. Why are you learning German? This is really important to get clear on because it's going to help you to stay consistent with studying. There will be times when you absolutely don't feel like studying at all, and there are also going to be challenges along the way. But having a strong why is going to help you overcome these challenges and stay consistent. So I really want you to think about why are you learning German and let me know in the comments down below. Are you moving to a German-speaking country? Do you need it for work? Do you have German-speaking family members, colleagues, or friends? Really get clear on that because just saying, oh, German is a nice to have is not going to help you become fluent. Step number 2, becoming confident in real-life conversation. I know this might sound obvious, but you won't believe how many people would rather just do grammar exercises or read all day long. Which is also great to improve your language skills, but it's not going to help you become fluent. Communication is the main reason why we're learning languages, right? So you need to be able to have conversations and to speak to people. I know this is easier said than done, especially when you don't live in a German-speaking country. I myself have struggled with this with all my foreign languages, but what really helped me was accepting the fact that it's going to be messy and that that's okay. You don't have to wait until you get to a certain level, and it doesn't have to be perfect. The main idea is to simply get you started with speaking, even if it's messy in the beginning. We all started somewhere. So what you can do if you don't live in Germany, Switzerland, or Austria is you can find a language partner online through, for example, Facebook groups, Tandem, or an app called Lingby. Those are great places to find someone to practice, and it's completely for free. I always encourage my students to start with a language partner as early as possible. As a beginner, you can prepare those sessions ahead by, for example, thinking about questions you want to talk about and letting your language partner know in advance. So let's say you are a total beginner. You can start with practicing introducing yourself and, for example, speak about things that you like or don't like doing. And let your language partner know ahead of time that these are the questions that you want to be talking about. And if you already live in a German-speaking country, take every opportunity to speak, whether that's at the supermarket, at a cafe, or restaurant. It's okay if you make mistakes. That's completely normal. I now live in Hong Kong and I used to make mistakes with my Cantonese all the time, but it didn't stop me from speaking to people, and now people are surprised when I tell them that I'm actually from Germany and I've only been living in Hong Kong for 5 years. So stay consistent, it's going to pay off. Step number 3, natural pronunciation. Okay, so this is a challenging one, but I do want to encourage you to start with practicing proper pronunciation right from the beginning. Too many times I've seen German learners completely neglect pronunciation, and it's not their fault. When you look at how German textbooks are structured, most of the time you'll only find very limited pronunciation exercises at the end of each chapter, which very often are just ignored in traditional language lessons. That really becomes a problem once you advance to higher levels because you still feel like people don't understand you or they don't take you seriously, even though you've at that point have put in so much time and effort to learn German. So what can you do about it? There are a few things that I recommend my students to do in order to improve their pronunciation. Number one is picking short passages from a podcast or a video, ideally something where you have access to the transcript. So platforms like Deutsche Welle or the Easy German podcast are great resources for that. So you pick a short passage, you read it out, and you record yourself. Then you compare your recording to the original in order to analyze which sounds you need to work on. Number two, also encourage German speakers around you or your language partner to correct you whenever your pronunciation is off. Very often people tend to not correct because they want to be polite, but if you're the one suggesting it, you'll be able to make progress so much faster. And number three is looking up words that you don't know how to pronounce. I like to use Lingui for my English pronunciation whenever I don't know how to pronounce a certain word, and I simply listen to it a few times and repeat afterwards. Number four, immerse yourself in the German language by listening to German podcasts or music. Even though you might not understand a lot in the beginning, it's still going to help you pick up the sounds of German. Step number four, essential grammar only. Now this is going to be an unpopular opinion amongst other German teachers, but you don't need to necessarily know all of the grammar structures in order to become confident and conversational in German. Yes, grammar is important in any language, and I'm not going to tell you that you can become fluent without it, but it should not overwhelm you or, even worse, hold you back from learning German. In spoken German, we don't use all the grammar structures. In the beginning, it's key to focus on the topics that are important for spoken German. So I'd recommend starting with understanding verb conjugations in the present tense and the perfect tense, Präteritum form of sein and haben. Präteritum is the second past tense in German. Also understanding the German case system and declensions and how to put basic sentences together. Focus on that in the beginning and you can learn more advanced topics later as a bonus. Step number 5, useful vocabulary only. Guess what? You don't need to know the entire DUDEN in order to become conversational in German. You only need the words that are relevant to the topics that you like to speak about or that appear in your daily life. So for example, if you are very interested in sports, you'll probably learn more words around that topic versus someone who is not interested in sports at all. On the other hand, if let's say you aren't interested in cooking, then it's very likely that you won't need a whole bunch of vocabulary in order to understand recipes. There are plenty of words in English that I don't know, but that doesn't stop me from speaking. If I don't know a word, I simply ask. This happens at least once a week actually. I hear a word and I have no clue what it means and I simply ask a friend who is an English native speaker, or I look it up in the dictionary. This is one of the best ways to learn new vocabulary because you learn it in context and the chances are a lot higher that you'll remember it. So take that pressure off your shoulders. You don't need to know a whole bunch of words. Think about topics that you like talking about and use mind maps to brainstorm new vocabulary that could be useful for you. Start with 10 new words, build them into example sentences, and expand more words from there. Also, let me know in the comments below if you want more tips and ideas on how to study new vocabulary efficiently and effectively, so I might create a whole video on that. Step number 6, language learning strategy. Without proper strategies in place, you aren't going to progress as fast as you'd like, and we want to learn smarter and not harder, right? So tip number 1 is studying 20 to 30 minutes daily. Studying shorter periods consistently is way more effective than trying to hammer everything into your brain for hours on one day. Make it a daily habit. Tip number 2, practice with a language partner. Believe it or not, you only become fluent if you actually speak to people. A language partner is the perfect way to practice and get ready to use German in the real world. And tip number 3, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Making mistakes only helps you to improve. Also, as mentioned before, encourage German speakers around you to correct you. If you're the one suggesting it, you really see that you'll be able to make progress so much faster. And tip number 4, most importantly, be patient. Learning a language doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and practice. So be patient with yourself. Du schaffst das. And last but not least, step number 7, fun. If you enjoy the process, you're more likely to stick to it. Switching it up and not just following a boring textbook the whole time is crucial. Podcasts, Netflix, language apps, graded readers, or a language partner can really help you to switch things up and to make it more interesting for you. Alright guys, this is my fluency method. Your why, your confidence in real life conversation, natural pronunciation, essential grammar, useful vocabulary, language learning strategies, and fun. If you follow all of these steps, you'll be able to become confident and conversational in German in no time. Alright, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway is from this video, and don't forget to download the free ebook to get more ideas on how to execute on the fluency method. Das ist alles für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!